The legacy of our 40th U.S. President, Ronald Reagan.
President Ronald was born on February 6, 1911, in Tampico, Illinois. In 1928, Reagan graduated from Dixon High School, where he was an athlete, a student body president, and performed in school plays. He then attended Eureka College, where he studied sociology and economics. In 1937, Ronald Reagan signed a 7-year contract with Warner Bros. Studios. He appeared in more than 50 movies in the next 3 decades.
For those next 3 decades, Ronald Reagan appeared in movies such as Bedtime for Bonzo, $1 Million Baby, and Brother Rat. Now let's take a look and see some of Ronald Reagan's acting skills in the movie Bedtime for Bonzo.
Well, it's fairly simple. A lot of people think they're born better than others. I'm trying to prove it's the way you're raised that counts. But even a monkey brought up in the right surroundings can learn the meaning of decency and honesty.
That's a fine thing to do.
Oh, I'll be right back. You won't be afraid.
No.
Valerie.
Well, Peter, at least you're alive.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, aren't you going to ask me in?
Well, I was just going to bed.
Ronald was a successful Hollywood actor and a union leader before serving as the 33rd governor of California from 1967 to 1975.
The President of the United States.
In 1981, Ronald Reagan became the 40th President of the United States of America, and he is arguably the most successful president after Franklin Roosevelt. Ronald Reagan gained success through his presidency and trust of the citizens through his honorable personality, his bright character, and his charming smile.
But it is a matter of historic record.
Prepared to take the constitutional oath? I am. If you place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me, I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
May I congratulate you, sir.
Objection for the presidency. Reagan is our projected winner. Ronald Wilson Reagan of California, a sports announcer, a film actor, a governor of California, is our projected winner at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time.
Ronald Reagan served 2 terms, from 1981 to 1989. President Reagan was a Republican, and he stressed conservative values. Reagan soon introduced Reaganomics. These were his domestic policies. He promised to cut taxes, control government spending, and balance the federal budget, or at least reduce it. Reagan caused widespread tax cuts, deregulated businesses, and decreases spending on social programs and welfare.
Our proposal is for a 10% across-the-board cut every year for 3 years in the tax rates.
The Reagan Revolution cut taxes, though he later had to raise them, reduced spending on social programs, and increased the military budget.
Now let's see what a presidential historian has to say on Reagan's presidency.
The average citizen's relations with Washington, certainly their expectations of the Republican Party. He transformed conservatism. He put a smile on its face.
Reagan's presidency included the Reagan Doctrine, which provided aid to anti-communist movements in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Reagan also strengthened the military by building up and providing U.S. weapons and many more troops. Effects of Reagan's domestic policies. Military spending caused deficit to increase and national debt more than doubled. He produced the largest tax cut in American history as well as increased defense spending. However, he raised non-income taxes 4 times due to economic conditions and reforms.
During his first term, he survived an assassination attempt where he was shot in Washington, D.C. after leaving a speaking engagement at the Hilton Hotel. Over Ronald Reagan's 2 terms, the economy saw a reduction of inflation from 12.5% to 4.4%. Foreign Affairs. During Ronald Reagan's presidency, he had to go through the Cold War. The Cold War was a period of geopolitical tension between the Soviet Union with its satellite states and the United States with its allies after World War II. As you can see in the video, the ruler of the Soviet Union was General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev. When Nazi Germany was defeated in 1945, Berlin was divided up into 4 parts by the Allied powers and the Soviet Union. As post-war Germany started to rebuild, 2 countries were formed from the rubble: a free market and democratic West Germany and a communist-controlled East Germany under the influence of Russia, despite growing tensions between the West and East Berlin. Berliners were able to move between the halves of the city to go to work or visit family and friends until one night in August 1961, overnight, East German soldiers sealed off the border. The Berlin Wall was a guarded concrete barrier that physically and ideologically divided Berlin from 1961 to 1989. Reagan publicly described the Soviet Union as an evil empire.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Reagan left office in 1989, and although he planned to be active post his presidency, he disclosed in 1994 that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. He became less apparent in the public, and he later died at home on June 5, 2004.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. As Henry VIII said to each one of his 6 wives, I won't keep you long.